is a GMO? Any food that's been engineered with DNA from a plant, animal, insect, or even bacteria is called a GMO. Scientists implant useful genes from one living thing to another in hopes of helping it resist threats. As of right now, GMO technology is only used in plants, but poultry and red meat may come from animals raised on modified feed. Imagine it this way. Engineers are manipulating common food crops and making them produce their own insecticide or making them restrained to chemical herbicides that kill other plants. This genetically modified organisms would never occur in nature on their own. According to Good Housekeeping, 70% of processed foods at the grocery store contain at least one GMO ingredient. Consumer Health Journal Better Nutrition states that 93% of all soybeans, 78% of all cotton, and 70% of all corn grown in the United States in 2010 were genetically modified by herbicide tolerant. To better understand GMOs, we should first know why corporations have begun to use them, recognize the potential harmful effects that come from these modified organisms, and lastly be able to identify which foods contain GMOs and which do not. Before I begin this speech, I thought without a doubt I did not support the use of GMOs, but after further research, I have found myself understanding how GMOs can be a solution to many problems. As population continues to drastically increase, third world hunger becomes an even bigger issue. Right now, it is estimated that every 2 seconds a child dies due to starvation. This does not include the amount of individuals who are malnourished. By using GMOs, farmers were able to create bigger yields of crops, which make the use of land more efficient. With the help of these genetically modified organisms, farmers can also create plants that are better resistant to weeds, pesticides, and other diseases. Once the food is grown, these modified foods have a longer shelf life and are easier to ship. And lastly, the biggest benefit GMOs offer is the ability to create a sustainable way to feed this rapidly growing world. Though many people argue about the dangers of GMOs, it is inevitable that the earth cannot possibly produce enough solution. Many fear GMOs because of the effects they have on health and environment is largely unknown. One article in the magazine, Popular Science, stated that many people worry that genetic engineering introduces hazardous proteins, particularly allergens and toxins, into the food chain. It is a reasonable concern. Theoretically, it's possible for a new gene to express protein that provokes an immune response. That's why biotech companies consult with the Food and Drug Administration about potential GMO foods and perform extensive allergy and toxicity testing. It is quite obvious that the use of GMOs is a controversial subject. There are those who advocate it and those who detest the idea of consuming modified foods. Now that you have some understanding of the benefits as well as the dangers associated with GMOs, it is helpful to be able to pick out which foods contain GMOs and which do not. As a consumer, I began to wonder how to distinguish between foods that contain GMOs and those that do not. Any product that contains the label non-GMO product or organic are independently verified to be in compliance with America's only third-party standard with GMO avoidance. This program consists of testing at-risk ingredients on an ongoing basis. Certified organic foods cannot intentionally include any GMO ingredients. Though the FDA has not banned GMOs from foods as a consumer, it is good to know that there are foods offered that do not contain them. On the other side, I am also thrilled to know that science is being used to make Earth more sustainable for future generations. In conclusion, I hope this presentation has better informed you not only what a GMO is, but what benefits that are capable of providing, what dangers are associated with them, and how to identify foods which do or do not contain them.